the sign, or the moon, sorry, the moon is in the sign of Aquarius at 84.6% illumination. Headed towards that full moon in Aries on the 28th. So, and Pluto is going to be going direct on October 10th. We have a lot to celebrate, guys. Welcome back, King of Chaos. So, let's see, and I mean specifically that to Pluto. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you'd understand. So, let's see how all this is affecting you, right? We've had a lot of stuff going on in the sky lately. I've got the fuzzball on me. You know what? I'm not gonna focus on it. Whatever. Alright, so let's see. Who are you? Oh yeah. Who are you? Sorry, I take my smoking caterpillar role very seriously, guys. So, let's find out who you are. What you're about. What's your path like? Interesting. You're a special kind of person, aren't you? We've got just the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. It's interesting that anger, conflict, Mars energy would be all mixed up with the softening to love. Alright, let's hold that as a mental note. Why is that there? That's like, seems very opposite. But it kind of reminds me of this quote I read online once where he's like, you've got to break your heart over and over until it opens. I think it was on the Rumi, actually. I don't know if you guys have read the Rumi. But, yeah. There's kind of this thing where, like, chaos and destruction often leads to creation and rebirth, right? So, it's kind of interesting. Then we have called. Many are called, few are chosen. Have you chosen to answer the call, right? Soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Let's see what you're called to do. Cracked open. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Maybe this is where that anger and conflict is coming from. Feeling like you've reached a dead end at the end of the pit, right? Messenger. This could be part of your soul mission, right? Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance, or there could be a messenger that helps you find your harmony and balance. Let's see. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. In Cracked Open, it said to surrender to the alchemy of life, and in this fall into my arms, it's also telling you to surrender, right? Holding the opposites, extremes of life, right? This reminds me of a battery, right? I work with batteries. So, you know, in order to make a battery work, you've got to have your positive terminal and your negative terminal, right? And this is kind of the same thing for like everything in life, right? In order for the Big Bang to happen, we needed matter and antimatter, and they had to collide. And you know, even in the oldest stories, we've had the gods, and we've had the devils, and we've had all that stuff. You know, there's always like the negative and the positive. There's always like or the active and the inactive, as you would see in the yin and yang. There's always the light and the dark side, and it's always so starkly black and white, isn't it? The opposites, like, they're always so starkly different, so starkly opposite. And I always find that so interesting, because so much of what exists because of the stark black and whiteness is the gray area, you know, the in betwixt, the ones that have both, right? I see more of that than just anybody being on one side or the other. Big picture thinking. Pleiadius energy, visionary, inspired ideas. You could be getting downloads, spiritual downloads. Obviously you're getting spiritual downloads if you're called. Maybe you need to surrender to your purpose here. Maybe you need to take a hint. That's what I'm hearing. You need to take a hint. I feel like you've been told this. I feel like you know this. Let's see. Follow the white rabbit. At the bottom of the deck, we have 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. I'm gonna shake up this deck and see what we get. I want to know what all the anger is about, right? And the first card, the frustration, the irritation, the not understanding why. That rock bottom energy. That sometimes our rock bottoms are so different. Like, it's not like you have to lose everything in life, right? You just lose something so vastly important that it can feel like everything. It's that dark night of the soul. Every starseed has to face the dark night of the soul, right? Every light worker has to do shadow work first. You don't get to be a light worker without the shadow work. That's what they say. And I feel like there's this energy of feeling like you've just been faced with a lot of unfair circumstances. And that's because you're given options. And it's your duty to discern from these options, right? To really look, but not with your normal eyes, with your third eye. You're supposed to look at the situation at hand and not think about the externals. Think about the internals. How do you feel about it? How does your soul speak to you about situations? What are the revelations that unfold within you during certain circumstances, right? You're meant to confront these. And I feel like, as we all have, there could have been 1 or 2 wrong turns along the way. Which is fine. We all gotta have those. And honestly, I don't think you can really make mistakes. You know, it's kind of like, I just don't feel like you can really make mistakes in life, because ultimately it leads you to the outcome that you're meant to experience. I mean, you could do some fucked up shit, right? Don't get me wrong. And it's bad, and that's, you know. However, whatever you do, it carries on the balancing of the universe, right? It carries on. Like, we gotta have some shitty people, and we have to have some good people to maintain the balance, right? We can't have everybody being all good and everybody being all shitty. There's gotta be a balance. to every empath, there's at least 3 narcissists, right? Like, we gotta balance this shit out because one empath is equal to 3 narcissists in energy, right? And that's what I'm saying there. So the balancing act of the universe here is really playing a role in your circumstances and how you react to your circumstances, how you handle challenges and minor inconveniences. If you freak the fuck out over a minor inconvenience, you got a long way just to go, right? You have to get to the point where you just stop reacting. You're like, another day more bullshit. It's okay. I'm used to this already. You know, it's like, adapt. That's what evolution is about. It's not about your circumstances getting better. It's about you handling them better. It's about you navigating them better. Very, very interesting. We have the Magician in reverse with the Hierophant, Taurus energy. Not saying you have to be a Taurus, just saying that's the energy I'm seeing with the card. Above all, to me, when I look at this Magician in reverse next to the Hierophant, because they can either mean the same thing or they can mean the opposite, right? Because a magician is an illusionist, right? A Hierophant is not. They're both great manifestors. One manifests out of the shadow and one manifests out of the light. With the Magician in reverse, there's a disillusionment happening, right? A veil being lifted from the eyeballs, right? Maybe you're seeing the truth of situations. With the Hierophant, this is about spiritual leadership, right? And this is above all, I got something in my bowl. This is above all about learning and growing and self-discipline and figuring your shit out, right? And helping other people figure their shit out. So, because that's what the Hierophant does, right? The Hierophant is the smoking caterpillar, like me. So yes, this disillusionment is seeing a situation through freshly washed eyeballs, right? Third eyeballs. It's like this whole situation is leading to so much growth, an establishment of self, right? Who are you, right? That's what we're learning at this moment. This is what you're learning. I have something in my eyeball. Oh my gosh. Get out. You can't live there. Okay. So, now that I'm done talking to the speck in my eye. What is this leading to? And karmic debts. Releasing emotional burdens, right? Really seeing what's been holding you up on your path. What's prohibiting you from your growth, from your kingdom, right? From where you're meant to be. What's holding you up, right? Because it's looking a lot more like a burden than fun, you know? It's looking a lot more like you're not really identifying with this anymore. Fascinating. And we have Knight of Wands. Either you or somebody else could reach out and communicate, right? Either you're communicating with somebody else or vice versa. They're coming in to communicate with you. Knights are messengers. Wands are honest communication. Somebody's coming in with an honest communication. Hence the disillusionment. Telling the truth about situations. Perhaps it required growth to get there, right? You had to grow through a situation in order to get to this point. Five of Cups. Because this situation has been very emotionally disappointing. Somebody wants to come in and communicate because they have been facing just disappointment. And look at the chains on this fool, right? Feeling bound by this disappointment. Feeling chained up by it. Feeling trapped. Feeling way down. Is this really your cross to bear, brother? Sister? Whoever the fuck. Because I'm seeing a whole lot of held up energy. I'm seeing a whole lot of energy of just feeling stuck. Why? Ain't no chosen one in the universe stuck. Tell me why. Tell me why. Sorry. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Sorry. I'm not stoned this time, guys. This is just your boy, okay? I'm worse when I'm sober. Alright. So, why? I bet you're asking yourself the same damn thing. That doesn't make sense. Tell me why. King of Cups, Page of Swords in reverse, out of love, out of trying to keep the peace. But are you feeling peace? Are you feeling loved? Have you been prioritized in this situation at all? Have your feelings been prioritized in this situation at all? Because what it looks like is a whole lot of sacrifice and nothing to show for it. The Chariot, Cancer energy, especially with the King of Cups, could be Cancer, could be dealing with a Cancer. You have a lot of energies showing up. You've got air, you got fire, you got water, you got earth. You got all the guys up on the board, right? So, but also, you have a lot of minor arcana, right? A lot of side quest stuff. Things that aren't actually life-altering things. Just things that are holding you up, right? The Chariot energy represents moving, traveling, moving up, moving on, moving out, moving away, moving, right? And however this movement is, it's going to be relative to you, right? So if you're just leaving town for a day, that's movement. If you are getting a promotion, that's movement. If you move out of your house, that's movement, right? Whatever the case, your life is moving, right? You're going in a direction. There's no more stagnant energy, right? This is what I'm seeing, is that you're going to come from a place of complacency and feeling trapped into moving the fuck on and up and forward. Ace of Cups in reverse. Doth thy cup runneth dry? Right? Because what I'm seeing is you ain't filling nobody else's cup and you struggle to fill your own. This is a problem. This ain't right. And what I mean by that is you don't put yourself first in situations where nobody else would ever make the same sacrifice for you. Right? You're being a martyr for people who would never return the favor. That's what I'm seeing. Why? It's insanity, my friend. I've been there, though. I get it. I can only say that because I've been there. What's your advice? You're a fucking light worker, man. Like, can I just like set it straight with you for a second? Mono mono or whatever, you know? How I feel about this situation, just from what I'm seeing on the board and what I'm feeling coming from this, is you're meant to shine, right? I'm seeing all these stars and suns and all these like oracle cards and only one card of like darkness, right? And that's a Mars energy, you know, it's like overthinking fucking energy, right? And it's interesting because it looks like, you know, with the Hierophant, like your purpose is to step into the light. Your purpose is to shine, right? And it's like, but you've been so busy trying to give everyone else the light. You forgot that you yourself need to be ignited, right? It's like you're a candle, right? And you're trying to pass off your fire to everybody else. And the second you're done passing off your fire, it's like your own candle goes out. Alright, your own wick goes out. Because you've just been sitting there, you know, passing your fire around. I think that's a bad analogy, but whatever, you catch my drift. Right? Or, for example, alright, you're a bottle of rum. Okay? Here's a better one. And you're like pouring out all your goodness to everyone around you. You're like, you get some, you get some, you get some, you get some. And then by the time you're done pouring yourself out for everybody else around you, you have nothing left for yourself. Right? That's what I'm seeing here. Just emptying yourself out for everybody else. And not one of those motherfuckers saw your empty cup and thought, we should go and perhaps give some back. You know, nobody else thought that. No, they just siphoned you, man, and went on their merry way. That's fucked up. I don't like that. Not one bit. Making me want to fill my own cup. Hold on. You see, you can't give so much of yourself that when you reach the end of your life and you're fully depleted, you have like nothing for yourself or nothing to show for it. And it's not selfishness that makes you want to have good things for yourself or have good outcomes for yourself, right? You don't have to sacrifice your own good outcomes for everybody else, because nobody else is sacrificing their good outcomes for you, right? And that's, you've been so selfless. And it's honorable, very humble of you. It's just showing that, like, when you're thirsty and your cup runneth dry, what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and thirst to death in the freaking desert, you know? Hold on a second. And that's not gonna be super fair, you know? It just ain't. So, like, don't be afraid to pour a little out for yourself, right? That's all I'm saying. I hope that my real life analogy helps you, because I'm gonna fill my cup, right? And I ain't sharing my bottle. Not because I don't want to share, but who the fuck am I gonna share it with? Also, I'm not inviting people over. I'm just kidding, but you see what I mean? When you're not trying to hand everything over to everybody else, you have something for yourself. What is up with all this martyrdom? It's driving me crazy, I'm sorry. Okay, stop looking at it. Okay. Are you afraid? Are you attached to your martyrdom? You know, because some people do that, right? They build an identity in, like, self-sacrifice. So much so that they honestly wouldn't know how to handle it if they did take care of themselves first. Emotionally, spiritually, all the other ways. Before you pray for anybody else, I challenge you to pray for yourself first. I know that's a crazy idea. I mean, for those of you who pray, right? And I don't give a fuck what your denomination is, what church you go to, what witch you are, whatever. Even if you're a witch, you still talk to something, right? You still manifest somehow, right? You're meditating and you're talking to your higher self. And you're sending all your best wishes to everyone else and all your gratitude to the universe. Do a little bit of that for yourself too. It goes a long way. You deserve that. King of Cups is a king of love. But he's standing on top of his emotions, afraid to actually dive in and swim in them, right? What else do you need to know? The plot thickens. Oh, how interesting. The Emperor and the Empress popped out. Divine counterparts of the Most High, right? Is this like a twin flame thing where you're just running from your twin? Is this the martyrdom? Oh, God. That's what it looks like. Empress and Emperor sitting in a tree. Both are running. Why? Chariot could also represent that running energy, right? Strength in reverse, Leo energy. Vulnerability makes you feel weak, afraid, intimidated, scared. Is this your weakness? Your twin flame, your own damn self? Wow. This would explain why you can't find union. Because your twin flame responds to the love you give yourself. Because they are yourself. And if you're not giving so much to yourself, then that is physically represented in your physical connection to your twin flame, right? Because they represent your relationship to yourself. Aries, Venus, and Leo is what I'm seeing. The Emperor is Aries energy. We're about to have that full moon in Aries on the 28th. Venus just went direct, no longer retrograde. Venus, the Empress, right, is Aphrodite, the goddess of love. And we have the King of Cups here, the King of Love, showing up. And I don't find that to be coincidental. I don't believe in coincidence, actually. I believe everything is comedy. So, looks like I'm seeing two energies that are harboring feelings, right? But as long as you don't have good communication with yourself, you won't have good communication with them. As long as you shut down your own thoughts, you won't be able to communicate with them well. As long as, you know, your own personal relationship to yourself is closed off, then that affects any potential relationship with them, right? Because it's mirrored, right? As within, so without, right? So what's going on the inside is physically portrayed on the outside with these kinds of things. And the train keeps a-rolling. I hear that train a-coming. It's rolling round the bend. And not seeing the sunshine since I don't know when. Alright, I'm gonna pause this while the train goes by. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, my lords, my ladies, what's the problem? Nine of Pentacles. That's the problem. How interesting. When you've grown so self-sufficient, right? When you've done so much on your own, you've created so much for yourself, it's really hard to let another in. Right? It's hard to let them in because you know that it's hard to get that peace back that you found in solitude, or that you found in, you know, even this. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, you may feel like they've let you go, right? Or they've released you, right? Because she's always holding on to something, this Queen of Pentacles. And in the reverse, she's letting go. And maybe she has. Maybe she's let go of her outcomes. Maybe she's let go of holding on to something that just isn't showing up. Right? Why wait? When somebody is allowing everything to hold them back. You know? Can't say I blame her. Or them. You know? Whatever their gender is. I'm just saying it according to how I'm seeing it. What's your advice? Damn, that's bold. We have the Death card, Scorpio energy. The Five of Swords in reverse. And the Ace of Pentacles. And what this tells me, death is the ending of a cycle or life as it has been, right? What you're used to right now, it's saying to put that to rest, right? Stop feeling sorry for yourself with the Five of Swords in reverse. Stop pushing the blame, right? Don't say you ain't showing up because of blah, 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 blah. Because it's almost never really that, is it? With the Ace of Pentacles, your advice here is to take your gift from God. Alright? See that hand with clouds from the sky offering this giant pentacle? You know, pentacles, this being the biggest pentacle in the deck, the biggest gift from God. This is also a brand new cycle, and it's telling you to accept whatever this brand new cycle is. It's telling you if you want everything to change, you have to change everything. Alright? With the Ten of Wands and the Death card showing up, things will change. Whether they're how you want them to change or not. Things will change. And it's also telling you to, like, put yourself on the positive side of receiving. Be in receiving mode for your gifts, for, you know, what it is that the divine is offering you here. What are they offering? Opportunities. Seven of Cups. And not just one, right? You've got karmic soulmates. You've got new potential karmic soulmates for the next life, right? You've got your twin flame glowing red over here. You've got all these different options, right? All these things you can choose from. We have the Queen of Wands, the most attractive queen of the deck, right? This is the one who speaks her truth, even at her own expense sometimes. But that's kind of a beautiful, beautiful thing, I think. Somebody who speaks their truth, even at their own expense, they're somebody that you can trust, right? They'll never mislead you. They're not just pandering to people's feelings or trying to say what everyone expects of them, you know? I respect the Queen of Wands for that. And we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, and you could also choose This is very different, right? The Queen of Wands is warm and compassionate and loving. The Queen of Cups in reverse is somebody who has no love to give, right? Just arrogance. There's somebody who comes off as heartless even. They lack compassion. They don't care. They don't have anything to offer you emotionally. Right? So you have choices here. And it's kind of like, it reminds me of those dating shows where, like, you know, from like the 90s and shit, when there'd be a guy and then there'd be like a curtain and then there'd be like a few different girls on the other side or whatever, and then like he'd have to ask them questions and kind of like try to decide, like, okay, based on their character, based on their answers, based on, you know, how they respond and how our energy vibes, which one do I want to choose, you know? And it's kind of asking you to do that, you know, like close your eyes and really use your discernment, you know? Don't feast your eyes on the eye candy and base your opinions on what you see, right? Feel it, right? Do you feel love? Do you feel wanted? Do you feel the warmth? Do you feel, you know, because I feel like a lot of the times we get wrapped up in our head in the material sense of like, well, it looks this way, so it must be a better path, or, you know, whatever the case. That's not always the case. Alright, what else do you need to learn before we close this out? Nothing. Very nice. I'm going to pull some Kali cards for you. This has been a very interesting reading. Don't let your stubbornness be your detriment. I say that, but it's definitely going to be my detriment. My stubbornness will take me to the grave, alright? So I guess it was hypocritical of me to say, but I'm speaking for the divine right now. I'm not speaking for me. If you ask me when I'm not reading for you, you know, I'd probably say the same thing. So let's see. What does Kali have to say to you? A lot, apparently. Holy shit. Okay, let me grab these cards. I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. No, I'm not gonna pause it. I want you to see that I'm not pulling other cards. But I gotta move this. No. Hold on. I guess I have to get up. I'll be right back. I'm back. So, basically, we have Debbie McCauley, No matter what you've done, no matter how many mistakes you've made, Kali is here for you always. Yours is the safety and sanctuary of her divine love. She is your soft place to fall and your kindest and most enthusiastic advocate. Let her shift your experience from endless tasks and ever greater expectations into sweet relief and comforting connection. By Ravi Yogini. Face your fears, for it is the right time and you are ready to overcome them. You will be given the power to fulfill your heart's desires. Embrace your path with confidence. Healing around belonging and abundance is taking place within your soul. You're spiritually protected from toxic energies. Recognize your inner divine badass and commit to your dreams with conviction. Guya Kali. It is time to realize the true nature of certain life circumstances. Be grateful for what you've learned, but see things for what they are rather than what you wish them to be. You shall be able to recognize, process, and prosper from the truth, and do not need to fear the revelations that are unfolding. Mahakali. You can trust that what is happening now will give way to a new expression. When the time is right, that right time will be the best time, when your readiness matches the requirements for success. Attend to your work with determination and hope in your heart. Trust that the divine is taking care of everything else and your progress is spiritually protected. Vajrakali. There's not always a need to try to grapple and conquer. Sometimes the need is simply to let go. Just because another's created a certain reality for themselves and is attempting to draw you in, it does not mean that you must participate. You have the divinely granted gift of choosing where to invest your energy. Be kind to yourself. Nitya Kali. Through journeying within, you will gain energy, insight, and freedom from the constraints of what has been. Allow that which needs to end to do so. You shall realize that you are not being denied, but released. There is something new on the horizon for you. Honor your losses, but keep hope in your heart for what is meant to be. And that is what I have for you. Namaste. I love you guys, and I will see you later.